Maybe first tell us who you are.
My name's Cody Warner, and I started coming to this church probably in grade 10. My life before Jesus was empty. It was very empty. I thought I knew what I was doing, but I didn't. And it was just a lot of struggle, a lot of loss. Yeah, so I guess one of the biggest things that I wanted to share was just, I got baptized about 4 years ago, was on fire for God, was feeling Him, was tasting Him, was understanding it. But I think there was a part of me that was kind of holding back. I was in a bit of, I guess you could say, denial. I think I was kind of a little bit lukewarm. And as the Lord says, if you're lukewarm, He's going to spit you out. You've got to be either full on or just don't even get on the boat. And I wouldn't say I stepped away from the Lord, but I stopped coming to church. I was worried about my family. I wasn't trusting in Him as much as I wanted to. After I got baptized, it was a lot of things in my family dynamic. And I kept trying to work through it in my own power, and things kept getting worse. And I knew I had to come back to church, and I needed to stop worrying about other people's opinions. And so I remember falling on my face before God right beside my bed and just giving Him everything and apologizing to Him and saying, I'm sorry, like, I understand I went off. And time kept spinning out of control a little bit, just with work and injuries. I had torn my Achilles heel. I'd lost a bit of my finger, had an operation in my arm. And I was like, starting to get mad at God, like, where are you? I lost my sister, my oldest sister, on my 30th birthday. And it shook me. There was a lot of questions, a lot of hurt. And not too long after that, that was in November, and then in June, my twin sister, who was a Sunday school teacher, on fire for God, she was perfect. She was amazing. She ended up getting cancer, and she ended up passing away. And one of the last things that she said to me, and she said to my mom and dad before that was it, was, if I need to go through this again to bring my family closer to God, I will. And I understood God. I understood being devoted to Him. I understand the power that comes in prayer, and He can do anything. If you look through the Word, there's miracles everywhere. But to see somebody's faith like that shook me in a way I'll never forget. And it's kind of sad, but that in a way brought me back to God. It gave me more faith than I ever realized. Seeing somebody that fearless is something, like I said, I'll never forget. And after that, my other half of 11 years, she was not about church. She was doing her own thing. She wasn't following God. She started coming to church. And that was something I prayed for years. And I didn't think it would ever happen. Started bringing my kids to church. And they come every Sunday now. And I kind of rededicated my life to the Lord after that. Started talking to my big brother about it. He's never talked about God or Jesus with me ever. Started talking about it with people at work. I never had that much faith and confidence in myself. Always had it in God after this, but I never had enough courage. And I was really struggling after losing my sister, and He's definitely been the reason I've been getting through it. And I was thinking things were going to get easier and easier, and then job stuff started happening. And I never was a prayer warrior, but in April I landed my dream job, working for Colson's Aerial Aviation, but that was in Port Alberni, in my hometown. And I couldn't take it. I was hired on, tried to do it for a week, and it was just too much. But the commute and with my other half. And I said to the Lord, I'm like, you've got to make something happen. You've got to make something work. And I kept praying and praying and started doing offering. And I was always very weird about that. I know a lot of people are, but I started trying to give back. And in August, I approached a guy that lives in the same apartment complex as me. It was a drilling company. And asked him if they needed anybody, and he's like, yeah, we need people right now. I'm like, okay. I ended up working for this company, and the first 2 days I was blown away because they're off of Church Road on Angel Street, and there's 7 guys in the crew. The number 7 was on the key, and I drive a number 7 vehicle. And I'm like, Lord, if you could scream at me, this would be you doing it. There's no drama. All the guys work hard. I have an amazing boss, the best boss I've had since I've been working on my own since 15. And I was so humbled to realize that I'm getting paid more than I did in my dream job. So the Lord really showed up and proved to me, if you're ready to wait and realize that it's my time and not your time, and you give me the glory, then I will come through. And something that has stuck with me ever since Pastor Evan was talking about it was, our story needs to be for him. Our story needs to be his story. It doesn't matter if you're working or if you're, doing some kind of activity outside with soccer or martial arts or basketball, whatever accomplishments, the glory needs to go to him. And that's something that I had never implemented in my life. And I feel like that's probably the biggest part that I want to share with people, is that it's all in his time, and he'll give you the top left-hand corner and the bottom right-hand corner of the puzzle piece, and in time it'll come together. I was given a word when I was in 2008, when I was coming here, by Daniel Eliason, that I was going to go through hard trials, and I was going to be like Rubar, and not break and be indestructible, and I was going to go through stuff. And I never really understood what that meant because I was so young. But now, seeing what has happened over the last couple of years, I know that's exactly what he meant. And I'm so happy to be a part of this church. I'm so blessed to be able to actually see the power of God work in my life, and to have my other half stand beside me singing, and my kids, is something, honestly, I never ever thought would happen. And it's a reality, and that's just the power of God. He works in mysterious ways. You just got to be humble and wait on him and give him the glory.